welcome to my channel. This is the mid-year book freak out. Oh my gosh, we're already halfway through 2019. As I said, this is the mid-year book freak out. Oh my god, it's going around. I wanted to have this up yesterday, which was the actual middle of the year, July the 2nd. However, life has gotten in the way, and as I was prepping for these for the questions and everything like that, I had to deal with my actual life and not just the stuff that deals with books and things like that. So I was thrown out of the bookish feeling of doing anything other than, you know, just trying to prep the video that would have went out yesterday, that went out this morning. And so now I'm filming this one for you guys, and hopefully we'll have it out today for you. And then tomorrow will be the regular scheduled video that is normally put out the first week of a month. So that's a little bit rambling. So I don't know the original creator of this. It has been around for years. I started regularly doing these, I want to say back in 2017. So I will put my 2017's version and 2018's version down in the description box. Now, these questions help me throughout the year to figure out who I'm going to put on my Bookish Academy Awards lists and categories and everything like that. So it's really, really helpful. Hopefully I can get through this without being super winded, but I do have a couple questions that have multiple answers to them, and that's all because I have already read for the year of 2019 164 books. So that is just like super crazy. Yes, that's a lot of books, and I'm about 64%, I think Goodreads said, into my Goodreads challenge. So whew. Let's get into answering these questions. So the best book or books that I've read already for the year of 2019, has to go to When Ashes Fall by Marnie Mann. This book revolves around a tragic event and how a woman deals with that event and all the aspects around it. I say go into this book blind without knowing too much information about it, which is why I very rarely talk about the actual events that happen within the book, but know that it's emotional and it's gripping, and make sure that you read the author's note at the end of the book so that you get a even better understanding of why the author wrote this book and the emotions that should go around while you're reading this book. As well as Hookshot by Kennedy Ryan. This is another book. This is a book that actually hit me personally. It deals with a topic of childhood abuse and sexual abuse, and it devastated me. It took me much longer than a normal Kennedy Ryan book takes me, even though she is my realistic, emotional, contemporary queen. This book really hit home for me, and so it took me a little bit longer to read it, but it is a amazing look at having communication within a relationship. There is a bit of an age gap within the relationship. Both parties are well over the age of 18, so it's not like that little gray area of, oh, is it moral, is it not moral? No, they are way over the age of 18. They are in their lives, and there just is an age gap between the two characters. I loved every minute of these. Both of these books you will be seeing later on in the year, well, at the end of the year, when I start pulling together my greatest hits and best books of 2019. The next question is the best sequel that I've read in 2019, and that has to go to two books as well. The first one is Cruel Fortune, which is Cruel book number 2 by K.A. Lindy, and in this book you get a better understanding of the relationship between our two characters. It definitely dives even more into the cruel intention, Gossip Girl sort of feel of the story that is being told, and I can't wait for more. But I'll talk about that in just a second. And then the second book is Royally Matched by Emma chase. And in this story, you have the prince that is now in line to be the king, and you get to see how he sort of deals with the aftermath of his brother giving up the throne so that he could go on and live his life with his new love. And now this prince has to deal with the ramifications of that. So I loved it. It was fun, it was sweet, it was sexy, and I just really, really enjoyed it. Number 3, new releases that I haven't read but I want to, and I have 2 books for that one, and that is The Assistant by Marnie Mann. She is twisted my mind with the types of books that she has been giving me. I mean, I read a tearjerker, I now read a dark romance from her, and I can't wait to see what this book is about. She just recently released it, and I can't wait to dive into it. As well as Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQueest. And this author has been really, really hyped. This book has been really, really hyped. I received an ARC of this book in paperback form at a Polycon, and I just I don't know if I'm waiting till the hype dies down to try and get into it so that I'm not jaded by all the hype from the different people that have read it that are, you know, my bookish friends, but I really want to get to this before the end of the year. The next question is my most anticipated book or books for the second half of the year. It has got to be Infinite by Corinne Michaels. This is the second book and conclusion for the Salvation series, and this duology is just absolutely amazing. The cliffhanger from Indefinite was just jaw-dropping. Oh my goodness. I did not see that ending coming, and I can't wait to get my hands on the conclusion of that story, as well as Bound by Alethea Roman. This is the 3rd book in that series, and I can't wait to see how everything is tied up and concluded in that crazy, twisted, dark romance as well. The next question is my biggest disappointment. I only have 1 book for this, and that is Under the Northern Lights by S.C. Stevens, and I had great high hopes. This is the first book that I've read since I read S.C. Stevens' trilogy, Thoughtless, and the other books in that series. So I had really high hopes that it was going to bring me some angst and some, you know, goodness and new adultness. No, that's not what I got. I got preachy, just not religious sort of undertone. Not even undertone, it's overtoned. It's just, not my cup of tea. Had high hopes for it, not where I wanted it to be. The next question is my biggest surprise, and that would have to go to the Elite 7 series by all of these different authors. You have Lust by Kerr Duquet, Pride by J.D. Holyfeld, you have Wrath by Jana Darling, Envy by M.N. Forgy, Gluttony by Kay Webster, Sloth by Gianna Darling, and Greed by Kerr Duquet and Kay Webster. Oh my goodness, this series took me on a ride. I loved every single minute of it. There were so many dark and twisted moments in it, and I just didn't know where it was going until the very end, and even then it was bittersweet, and I wanted to continue because that is how invested in this secret society of darkness and craziness that I was in. So huge surprise that I loved every single book, all the world building that went on, and yes, it's not a fantasy, but there is a world in which you are drawn into. So the world building for this was amazing. The next question is my new favorite or debut author. So she is not a debut author. She is a new to me author, and that is Marnie Mann. And like I said previously, I've read her sad book. I've read a dark romance by her. I got to meet her. She's amazing in person. And yes, I want to just dive into every book that she is putting out because, man, she is doing her thing, and I'm loving every single moment of it. The next question is my newest fictional crush, and that would have to go to Pin from the Cruel trilogy by K.A. Lindy. He starts off as this, like, really just kind of douchey kind of guy that you're just like, why do I like you so much? But I do, and I just don't know why I like him so much, but I do like him. And my new favorite character would have to be God from the Gluttony book by Kay Webster from the Elite 7 series. He was just this force to be reckoned with from book number 1, which isn't even about him until his book, and even after his book, you just feel his presence throughout the entire series, and I loved his book so much. He is just a huge character. The next question is a book that made me cry, and I have 2 books for that, and the first one is The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. This book destroyed me in so many ways, and it is a very controversial and sort of book that you either love it or you hate it. I know from my experience with the book, it hit me really hard because I have military ties, because I'm a mother, and I felt all of the emotions of the characters that were going on within the book. I'm not discounting if you don't have a kid, if you haven't been in the military, or you haven't dealt with anyone in the military, or have a military connection, that you're not going to feel all the things that go on in this book. And, you know, it's just, it was just really an emotional read, and wow, just wow. And then the next book is When Ashes Fall by Marnie Mann. Yes, this book has come up quite a few times within this tag, but that is how emotionally connected and just amazing I think this book is, and think that you should go out and read it. It is, like I said, about a specific event, and it doesn't show itself until later on, but you sort of get a feeling. And if you know anything or have been experiencing anything that's going on in the world, you start to feel what is coming. But it destroyed me. It really did. Had me crying like crazy. And make sure you read the author's afterword or the author's note so that you can cry some more, because it did. It made me cry even more. A book that made me happy this year was Indefinite by Corinne Michaels, and you would be surprised in that the reason it made me happy was that we finally got their story. We're finally getting Ashton and Quinn's story from the Salvation series. We have waited a long time for it, even though it's complicated and messy and, you know, a little bit sad and twisted and crazy. It made me happy to finally get it. The next book is favorite book to film adaptation that I saw this year, and I would have to go with The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Brecken. I really enjoyed this movie, and it was all based on the fact that my son wanted to watch the movie. I was a little bit excited to watch the movie, but once he saw it and was like, Mom, you gotta watch this with me, and we sat down on a Saturday morning and we watched it, and I was completely intrigued by it. I was supposed to be like editing a video or, you know, making notes and things like that, preparing for my video on the next day, but I was completely drawn into the movie. And then I sat down and I read the book, and I am just completely drawn into this world, and I can't wait to finish off the series. I am going to sort of pace myself because I don't want to read all the books and then, you know, have to wait, you know, 2 or 3 years for the movies to come out. I'm pretty sure they're still making the adaptations for the other 2 movies, so I can't wait for those. For the 13th question is to name a favorite video that I've done this year so far, and I really don't have a favorite video. I can't think of a video that is my favorite. I will say that I am super proud of myself that I did a full month of Veda. Every single day in the month of April, I put out a video. I will link that playlist down in the description box so you guys can go check all those videos out. I am so proud of myself, and I did it on 2 different platforms. Every single day in the month of April, I posted a video and I posted a Insta story or Insta discussion, as well as a video over there on IGTV, which you can go and check out all of that information. It's all in my socials down in the description box, so make sure you're following me on all those platforms. Number 14 is most beautiful book that I've bought this year, and I have 3 books, and that is the A Long Shot Special Edition book by Kennedy Ryan. I love this book, and when she said that she did a special edition cover with the Hello Lovely box, I was like, I have got to get it, and I am so happy that I now have this in my possession. And at a Polycon, I got to meet the fabulous Dylan Allen, and when I saw these 2 books, The Legacy and The Legend, I just had to have these books. I just thought they were just absolutely amazing. I think they're beautiful, and I can't wait to read them. So the final question of this tag is to name a book that, or books that I need to read by the end of the year. There are so many. There are constantly books being added onto my TBR, but there is one book in particular that I now own. I have a signed copy of it. It's super hyped, and I need to read it before the end of the year so that I can place my opinions and thoughts and everything like that on it, and that is The Mister by E.L. James. This is her follow-up, and is a standalone. It's not connected to the 50 Shades of Grey series, but it's her next works. And I've heard a lot of different conflicting things. There are people that are my bookish friends that liked it. There are bookish friends that didn't like it. So I'm trying to sort of let it die down, let the hype die down on either side of it, and then take this book on to, check it out for myself. So that is the mid-year freak out. Even though it is not the middle of the year, I'm only a day off. Sorry. I will do better next year to get this video out on July the 2nd. But yeah, so what were some of your answers to the questions? They are down in the description box, so if you want to do this tag, please do. You still got a whole month to technically say that you're in the middle of the year, so please do it. I encourage you guys, and I will be going to check out everyone else's list and things like that. It's so much fun to do this tag. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later.